ToonGrin.com.
In 1959, an unbelievably boring cartoon concept was conceived on the napkins at a local diner. The premise: a squirrel and moose would do battle with Russian stereotypes and be incredibly poorly animated. The show was made and then beamed out to televisions all over the world. It can only be described as one of the darkest moments in human history. Besides, other major historical events like World Wars and the tragic retirement of McDonald's mascot Mac Tonight. In 1964, the cartoon was canceled, and for the first time in years, there was much rejoicing across the land. In the year 2000, a new blight was created when the cartoon was given new life in the form of a live-action film. Though, much like many pop idols, it faded quickly and effortlessly into obscurity. Today, it can be found on DVD on the back shelves of video stores worldwide. So if you have time to kill, or just want to see an abomination of an adaptation, then you can be the sad sap who witnesses the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Hey, Nero Nights, I got the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie and... yeah. Cthulhu, you got any, words of wisdom to give me? Quitter. Though I can't blame him for ditching out on me. There's nothing really good that you can get out of this movie. Hell, just look at the DVD cover alone. I gotta say, I'm actually really glad at this cover. It doesn't lie to us. Robert De Niro, Jason Alexander, and Rene Russo do star in this movie much more than Rocky and Bullwinkle do. In many ways, it's like the spiritual ancestor to Michael Bay's Transformers. But we're here, so let's review The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the movie. And what passes for a movie unfortunately begins. The movie starts off acting like a documentary, because yeah, that's what people want to see who are fans of Rocky and Bullwinkle, is a fucking documentary. And the documentary goes on about how great the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon is, and how much of a shame it was to have been cancelled. Of course, for those of us who have actually seen the show know that this is total and utter crap. So the movie continues to prattle on as the villains, Boris and Natasha, along with their fearless leader, properly named Fearless Leader, makes a break for our reality. Yeah, because, characters from the 60s clearly have a fully aware understanding of the principles of the multiverse. So in the real world, we get to see an executive producer attempt to find a good script for the next big motion picture, and shredding through the garbage scripts she comes across. And yet somehow this movie was greenlit. Wrap your minds around that madness. So in her office, the executive producer named Minnie Mogul, God, gotta love those puns, meets our three wannabe Russians who, despite being cartoon characters, are able to use a television set to talk to someone in the real world. Not sure how that works, but it continues onward. They even actually make a deal with her, offering her a contract, so that if she signs it, that she will then produce the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. This subplot, of course, is dropped in less than 5 seconds after it's brought up, so don't worry about it.
And then, through the miracle of computer-generated digital technology, Minnie reached into the television set and signed the contract. But when she tried to pull the contract out, the expensive animated characters were instantly converted into even more expensive motion picture stars.
Hey, how did that happen?
We are attached to the project.
This isn't funny!
And like every movie based on an existing project, Hollywood decides to plug in an original abomination of a character for their own gains. This is FBI agent Karen Sympathy, and yeah, the puns go on like this for the entire hour and 30 minutes. I apologize. Anyways, Karen is given the task of retrieving Rocky and Bullwinkle so that they can help her stop the plans of the wannabe Russians. Now, some of you may be asking what is their plan exactly, and here you go.
For the last 6 months, a cartoon villain from the old Rocky and Bullwinkle show named Fearless Leader has been buying up every single hour of cable programming in this country, forming a single gigantic network called RBTV, or Really Bad Television.
According to our sources, 3 days from now, Fearless Leader plans to broadcast TV shows so terrible, they'll turn anyone who watches them into a mindless zombie incapable of independent thought.
Totally different than regular TV.
The RBTV broadcast starts at noon on Saturday. By 8 o'clock that night, Fearless Leader will have hypnotized enough viewers that he can go on the air and make the whole country vote for him as president.
If Fearless Leader has the ability to hypnotize people and therefore control their minds all across the globe, why the fuck would he need to be voted into office? Couldn't he just take control of the fucking position? Yes, so with the plot of stupidity out of the way, we enter even more stupidity. You see, Karen, despite being a government agent working for the free world and all that, somehow doesn't have any form of clearance to go anywhere or really do anything. So she has to break into the Greenlight facility because this is where she has to go to greenlit to free Rocky and Bullwinkle. Which, yeah, the Greenlight facility, let's talk about this for a minute. It's a giant lighthouse with a big green light that opens up portals to cartoon worlds. What the fuck? How do we have this portal technology? Why isn't this in a secret underground facility? Why the hell is this out in the open where anyone can get to it? Can anyone utilize this fucking machine? Can anyone just plug in some numbers and open up portals? Does that mean we can get characters from any cartoon show that's ever existed throughout history? I mean, fuck. What happens if, like, Darkseid from Justice League the Animated Series stumbled across this thing?
Though your world will suffer slowly, I grant you a quick death.
Yeah, we'd be boned. So Karen manages to sneak into the facility with little to no effort at all, and she activates the green light with little to no effort at all, and releases a heinous plant onto the world in the form of CGI Rocky and Bullwinkle. Now, to the movie's credit, or its detriment, they actually do appear to capture a sort of cel-shaded-like appearance to Rocky and Bullwinkle. And not much, but at least they try to make them look like cartoon characters. Mind you, they fail in every meaning of the word, but they do try, so we're gonna give them a D for effort. So after some crappy slapstick, Karen escapes from being arrested for breaking into the Greenlight facility, and some ungodly wordplay ensues.
Bullwinkle, can you repel?
Sure! I've been repelling viewers for years!
That's harmony!
So after hearing that Moose and Squirrel have made it to the real world, Fearless Leader proceeds to his labs, which are developing weapons to get rid of Rocky and Bullwinkle. In the labs, we get to see some shoehorned in humor, which, much like the cartoon, gets on my nerves really quickly. Though I will give some credit here. I do get some minuscule sense of enjoyment out of the movie's self-aware humor.
There has never been a way to actually destroy a cartoon character until now.
What about that movie Roger Rabbit?
Shut up! This is totally different!
And since this movie is using Philips as its product placement of choice, we get to see the Philips CDI being used as a weapon to murder childhood cartoon characters. You know, in many ways, this reminds me of my youth as they used the Philips CDI to try and murder The Legend of Zelda.
It's awful!
So we even get a demonstration of the CDI's abilities by watching it murder this generic, shitty-looking cartoon weasel.
Okay, now all you gotta do is type in an address and send him where all worthless cyber chunk ends up. The internet. Let go my paw. You broke my nail.
Yes. Go now. Wander off to 4chan, where only the most depraved minds wander. I should know. So Fearless Leader in his infinite wisdom sends out Boris and Natasha to use the Philips CDI to go kill Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, because the duo who are about as deadly as a pair of socks will surely get the job done, right? We then cut to Boris and Natasha attempting to kill our heroes because somehow, despite having no way of locating Rocky and Bullwinkle, they manage to find them and attempt to kill them, and what a shocker, they fail miserably at it. Now, don't get me wrong, they do manage to do some bit of damage. They do total Karen's car, which, of course, everyone jumped out of, so everyone survived, and Karen just steals Boris and Natasha's truck, leaving them on the highway all alone. Yeah, what was it that Fearless Leader had actually said earlier in the movie about these quote-unquote villains?
Holy mackerel, who are you?
3 of the most terrifying villains in the history of children's television.
By the way, this movie loves to abuse plot convenience since Boris and Natasha end up finding a helicopter to continue their journey to kill Rocky and Bullwinkle.
If only we had a helicopter.
But since they were in the middle of the desert, there was obviously no chance whatsoever of finding a helicopter.
Boys, look!
Oh, damn. Never mind.
Oh my god, I swear I'm gonna stick a fork in my eye unless something actually happens to move the plot along in this movie.
Step out of the vehicle with your hands up, please.
It's okay, officers. I'm with the FBI.
Step out of the vehicle now.
Hey, look, your face is all blurry.
Who's yours?
This truck matches the description of a vehicle reported stolen outside Red Bank, Oklahoma just a couple hours ago. You are under arrest for grand theft auto and for impersonating FBI agent Karen Sympathy.
So, we trek on through this less than stellar story. Rocky and Bullwinkle are left to wander the roads and try to hitchhike. Then they are picked up by none other than Keenan and Kel. You know what? That's fine. I'll buy that because, quite frankly, these are the guys who made Good Burger, so them being in this is no surprise. I mean, where else were they going to go in their careers?
All right, buckle up now, fellas. Yeah, safety first. So, where do you boys go to school?
We're undergrads. And what's the matter you?
What's the matter, you? My old alma mater.
Bullwinkle was a big football star at What's the Matter You?
Quarterback.
Wait, what now? Bullwinkle went to school in the real world? But earlier when Karen was getting arrested, Rocky had said this.
But we've never been in the real world before.
Ugh, I'm feeling like shit right now. Now maybe it's the blood loss or maybe it's the fucking movie, but I can't fully deal with this right now. I'm gonna go and get a little bit of liquid courage from the Wizard of Booze while you guys deal with this next scene, cause I need some fucking alcohol real bad.
Following ominously above them in the midwestern sky, Boris conceived a sinister plan. Flying ahead to Wasamariu, the two villains made a sizable donation to the college in Bullwinkle's name, prompting the college president to bestow upon Bullwinkle an honorary Mooster's degree.
And when Moose is at the podium for acceptance speech, I'll be on water tower with CDI.
So we get to the school, and it's here we get the most honest reaction if anyone actually saw Rocky and Bullwinkle walking around.
Look, there's the animated freak now. My fans.
Bullwinkle, these aren't fans. This is an angry mob.
See, now that's an honest reaction. If any of us actually saw Rocky and Bullwinkle running about in real life, that's exactly how we'd all react. Oh, and I'm gonna completely glaze over this, but here's a brief little touch-up of what's happening with Karen. She escapes prison, which means her going there is completely pointless. She meets a male guard there at an all-female prison, he falls in love with her, and then she manipulates his feelings to break out. Wow, so you're using a guy who genuinely cares for you for your own selfish gain. Well, I'm gonna use this clip to sum up my feelings of you, Karen.
Boo, you whore.
So yeah, while Whore is escaping from prison, Boris fails to kill Bullwinkle. Yeah, Boris and Natasha, these are clearly the greatest villains of animation history. And what becomes of this scene? Rocky and Bullwinkle get a free car. So now that Karen's out of prison, she decides instead of, being responsible and trying to get in contact with the FBI to smooth over the fact that she is now an escaped convict, she decides to push the boundaries of bitch even further by stealing the car of the guy that helped her break out. So she manipulates the guy's emotions and then steals his car. You know what? I refer to you to my previous joke.
Boo, you whore.
So, for slapstick, another failed murder attempt by our incompetent comrades, a shameful cameo from Billy Crystal later, Karen runs right into Rocky and Bullwinkle in the middle of a cross-section, and sadly no one is killed, and the trio is then quickly arrested and then sent to trial. In the name of heaven and hell and Relay and Valhalla and whatever other fucking afterlife there is, how much more stupidity could they cram into this shit?
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's Rocky and Bullwinkle! Oh my god! I love it! Oh, I love your
Your
show.
Honor!
I totally... And you, Mr. District Attorney,
I'd like to point something out to you in the Penal Code, Section C, Paragraph 22. Celebrities are above the law.
Okay, so after getting out of court, and getting on a plane that they happen to buy, and escaping Boris and Natasha again, Rocky and Karen are separated from Bullwinkle because the plane can't carry their combined... Oh my god, does anyone really fucking care? So after an abysmal green screen effect montage later, Rocky and Karen make it to really bad television studios in New York City, and then they head up on their own to take on Fearless Leader. Oh gee, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Well, Agent Sympathy, I have waited many years to face an enemy I could respect. And I'm still waiting.
That was kind of a funny joke. Let's see them fuck it up with a bad one.
We are hooking you directly into the quality control. As soon as we go live, the current will pass through your brain, and you will be turned into a headless, mindless vegetable. But don't worry, it won't hurt. At least I never heard a complaint from the other vegetables. I think you recognize your 3 missing colleagues from the FBI?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You all know me to be a very, very opinionated goblin man. And I can say this, I really hate the show Family Guy. I think it's one of the dumbest shows on the air. But you know what? I could put all my hatred aside, and I can agree with, no doubt in my mind, 100% pure unity with this scene.
Please. Please? We can't take any more shtick.
So to get the plot rolling along, Bullwinkle crashes the plane in Washington right outside the White House. And he makes it inside with no trouble and gets to talk to the president, though the president is already hypnotized. Bullwinkle conveniently then meets Karen's boss, who happens to be there, and he's completely unhypnotized because he happens to be wearing goggles and earmuffs. So, to compound more bullshit, Bullwinkle, of course, starts watching the television set and therefore watches the hypnotic programming. But get this, Bullwinkle is so stupid that he can't be hypnotized.
Bullwinkle! Don't watch! Bullwinkle!
No, not you too.
Not a bad show, Mr. President.
Yes, cheap as it may seem, and it certainly does seem cheap, Bullwinkle's head was so thick that Fearless Leader's mind-numbing programming had absolutely no effect on him whatsoever.
Yeah, so through the use of bullshit, Karen's boss sends Bullwinkle to RBTV through the use of the internet. So Bullwinkle makes it to RBTV, and lo and behold, through bumbling idiocy, he disrupts the program's broadcast through his antlers. Oh, but this doesn't come out of anywhere. God, no. This was actually hinted at earlier in the movie.
Gee, what kind of music is that?
Hip-hop.
Okay, but I'd still like to know what kind of music it is.
That's funny, the radio's off. Oh, that's just Bullwinkle. His antlers pick up everything. Bullwinkle, cover up your nose.
Oh, okay. But I was just getting jiggy with it.
So yeah, it's Chekhov's moose?
What the fuck is this?
So the zombifier is destroyed, the Russian wannabes are defeated, Rocky and Bullwinkle save the day and get really bad television and then change it to Rocky and Bullwinkle television, so now they got their own TV station. If that's not horrifying enough, Karen even gets back together with that random guy she met because this movie felt the need to shove in a stupid love plot. Fantastic! Oh, and the movie ends, get this, the movie ends with it being a movie within a movie. And that was the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle the movie. And it's shit. Oh boy, is it shit. But despite everything, from the lack of narrative flow and jokes that miss the mark every time, and the fact that the live-action actors seem to get more screen time than Rocky and Bullwinkle, despite all of that, its biggest flaw is that it's boring. In a lot of ways, it does capture the essence of the original cartoon series. It's very uninteresting, and it's very unentertaining. Hell, I even came up with a new metal for this kind of shit. I call it the bland metal. That's bland. Boring, lackluster, arid, and monotonously derivative. Yeah, I cracked open my thesaurus for this one. The movie's real problem is simply that it's just boring. I imagine kids would be bored off their ass trying to watch this, and therefore would harass the crap out of their parents. And fans of the cartoons, if such a creature does exist out there, will be irked by the fact that their heroes, Rocky and Bullwinkle, are pushed aside for Hollywood actors. In the end, all I can say is that the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle were made into a movie. And it sucked. I'm Nero and jealous, and what the fuck is wrong with Universal Studios?